Hello folks, this is Sula speaking. You're listening to another video for Teamfight Tactics. This is taken from another double up game that I am playing together with JDP El Grillo. And the reason why the recording is going to start here on the initial carousel is because this recording is taken from Grillo's point of view. So we had this game, it was a fun game, and it was more interesting to show the footage from his point of view because there's frankly more interesting, fun stuff taking place on his particular side of this matchup. So what we're going to be seeing in this game is we're going to be seeing some more Duelist gameplay, and we're also going to be seeing the Lucky Gloves augment, a new one in this set that has not been around for some of the earlier sets that have augments. So some entertaining stuff. It's going to be a lot of fast attacking, a lot of gloves, a lot of rapid punching, I guess you could say. But it's a game where things really went well. Some games I have put footage up on YouTube. Some games where things didn't go particularly well. Some games where things don't work out. This is kind of the opposite. This is more of a game where we kind of are able to hit more or less just what we're looking for. And it's fun sometimes to showcase games where things kind of do go the way that you're looking for. Okay, so here off the initial setup, I don't think Grillo had an immediate sense of what he was going to be playing, but he does have the Kale, and he also has managed to pick up an Ezreal here, and then there's another Ezreal in his store. So he did mention to me that he had the pieces to potentially play an Underground opener, and to keep an eye out for any Underground champs that he might be able to play. But at least at this point in time, I don't think that he was necessarily thinking Duelist, although he did have the Gangplank and the initial Kale. Still, Kale does have the Chain Vest, which is not what you're looking for on Kale. It's one of the worst items that she can hold, so that's something that needs to be taken off. But look at that. There's the potential to make a Sunfire and still have a leftover vest. Probably better than making Bramble. And then, look at this Duelist art. Okay. So Duelist, very, very strong in this build. It's one of the things that people figured out over time is that you could, and by the way, I'm going to send an early Fiora so that he can get Underground in. Just have Underground available from the very start of the game. So Grillo actually cannot sell the Kale just yet. He needs the Kale so he can play Underground, but I'm sure he's going to be looking to replace that unit soonish. But yeah, he was able to get a Duelist Heart. So he has +1 Duelist from a Silver Augment. And as I said, Duelist has really, really become popular in the kind of the second half of this long-running patch that we've been on. We've been on this patch for about a month. And really at the start of it, no one was playing Duelist, but people figured out over time that vertical Duelist was actually very strong. The one weakness of the setup is it doesn't have a ton of frontline, but people figured out that if you are able to build Neela with lockets on her, that gives you enough shielding that your Duelist can just scale up over the course of the fight and just get really, really strong to the point that you can't kill them before they stack up their attack speed and just burst through everybody on the other team. So that's what we're going to be looking at here. And the Duelist Heart in particular is really nice because the Silver Augments are the ones that have the lowest power level, but getting +1 Duelist is actually incredibly nice. It's arguably better than getting the Duelist Emblem, which allows you to turn a unit into a Duelist that isn't a Duelist. Arguably, this one is better because it allows you to run 8 Duelists at level 7. You don't even have to go to level 8. You can just go to level 7, pick up all the Duelists. There's only 7 Duelists in this set. So you can actually run 8 Duelists at level 7 with this. So as I said, arguably it's better than the gold version of the augment that gives you the ability to put a Duelist emblem on someone who's not normally a Duelist, but you still have to be level 8 to play 8 Duelists with that. With the Heart version, you only have to be level 7 to play 8 Duelists, which is just really, really strong. You can spike on having 8 Duelists in as soon as like the middle of stage 3, and that's just unbelievably powerful to have that much ability that early in the game. Okay, well, in any case, so what do we have going on here? As I mentioned, Duelist is the attack speed trait. I'll just go ahead and read the formal description here. Innate gives increased movement speed. Duelist basic attacks grant bonus attack speed. Stacks up to 10 times. Right now, Grillo has Duelist 2 in, so that's 6% attack speed per stack. So if you get all 10 stacks, that would be 60% additional attack speed. And then that increases with more ranks in the trait. Up to Duelist 8 is 30% attack speed per stack. So at maximum stacks, Duelist 8 you could potentially have 300% attack speed, which is pretty crazy. Each level of Duelist increases the benefit by a pretty significant margin. Just going from Duelist 2 to Duelist 4 actually doubles the benefit in the current patch. It goes from 6% per stack to 12% per stack. And so anyway, Grillo is going to be able to get Duelist 4 in when he levels up to level 5. He just doesn't want to do that quite yet. Now, the other thing that Grillo has in is the Underground trait. So this is the economic trait here in set 8. Does not provide any in-combat benefit. What it does is it causes your team to crack open this safe over time. You get stacks on every win and every loss. You get more stacks for losing, so it's kind of a loss streak trait, or at least is intended to be a loss streaking trait. And every 10 stacks normally, it's every 20 stacks here in double up, because it counts both you and your partner here in double up. Every win gives you 2 stacks, every loss gives you 3 stacks. So, and normally it's 10 stacks to crack open the safe, but here in double up mode, it's 20. The longer you choose to delay going for the heist, the longer you choose to wait cashing out, the bigger the reward when you actually do cash out. People at the start of the set were trying to go for like these very greedy cash outs, going for four stack cash out, 5 stack, 6 stack. But due to some of the changes that have taken place in this set, it's actually very hard to do that here in the set. By the way, Grillo's going to go for a rod so that he can look to make a locket. He can sell the kale, and then he can go. Well, now he can't sell the kale because he just made Kale 2-star. Whoops. I think he was intending to make a locket there. But eventually he'll be able to sell the Kale or just sell the Ezreal. Ezreal's going to come out of this comp eventually. So eventually he can look to take that out. And he'll be wanting to make a locket with these items. But for right now, Rod on Ezreal's not bad. The vest on Kale is quite bad. But the other stuff, not so bad. Anyway, so as I said, at the beginning of the set, people were trying to go for like very greedy cash outs with Underground, but nowadays people usually just go for either a 2 cash out, sometimes a 3 cash out, or what I've seen people do is just take the 1 cash out and just keep going. Taking the early 1 cash out will give you about 15 gold, so it really does accelerate your economy. You can just take the early 1 cash out, and like Grillo, if he took that now, because he's about to get, or is he going to get a heist here? Actually, I think we need 1 more round to take the heist, because I think we're at 19 to 20 stacks. Because we both won. But like if he had been able to get to 20 stacks on that round, he could take a cash out for like 15 gold. And then he goes from being at 7 gold to being at like 20 to 25 gold, which is a pretty big increase. So that is a possibility that people have figured out, that you can kind of go for the early cash outs. And it's a lot safer to do that as well. Just because, again, so he is going to sell the Kale. Yep, as I said, I thought he really did want the locket. So Ezreal's going to hold that, and I suspect he's just going to backline everything here. I did play in this game with Grillo, but I was fiddling with my board. I was not watching his board, and just barely manages to get everybody there to get the locket value. Very nice. So yeah, probably, as I said, wanted to make the locket earlier, not have to sell the 2-star Kale, but it's not that big of a deal. All right, anyway, though, so far things have been going reasonably well here in Stage 2. I wouldn't say they've been going amazing, but, we've been starting to win a few more of the rounds. Once Grillo was able to get Duelist 4 in, his board definitely got a lot stronger. And, he's going to have another board come over here, but, here comes the double reinforcement. My board's coming in to try to save the day. And yep, I've got that Renekton. I've got a Renekton with a Warmogs and a Sunfire, and that is going to be pretty strong here at the start of the game. So economically, Grillo's maybe not in amazing shape. He's only at 20 gold here. So like here, he could take the cash out for 10 gold, but I believe he opts to continue the heist. So like he could just jump from 20 gold to 30 gold right there, which would be quite nice. But this is a 2-player game. And we're not thinking just about what he can get for himself, but we're also hoping that if he gets something he can't use, he could potentially send it over to me. As far as what my board's doing, I don't really have a whole lot yet. I'm looking to play into the admin trait. Basically, I have a 2-star Renekton with Warmog Sunfire, and Renekton's just kind of carrying my board this early in the game. I do have an admin trait that's giving me it's plus maximum HP. The admin units gain additional max HP every single time they cast. So I'm looking to go into Soraka with that and have her just stack up additional max HP every single time she casts with her admin. By the way, look at this. there are the components for another locket here, another rod, and another vest. So why don't I go ahead and read the locket description just while we're on this, because this is going to be the video of the lockets. Maybe I should have called this the locket game or something like that. All right, Locket of the Arden Solari. This item's been around for a long time. It's not really changed recently in the last couple sets, but always useful to read the formal description. Combat start, shield the holder and allies within 2 hexes in the same row for X amount of damage for 15 seconds. The value of the shield goes up as the star level of the unit increases. At 1 star, it's 300, 2 star, 350, 3 star, 400. So it puts a shield on the holder and the allies standing on either side of them, and it lasts for 15 seconds. So it can time out eventually. That's why it tends to be more of a frontline item than a backline item. In some past sets, you could do a backline locket if you were going to be up against assassins, and that could actually be pretty useful. By the way, my board's going to come over. Can we get here in time? And it looks like we've got Lux. Lux is going to pop those units, and so reinforcements get there just barely in time. And then Grillo sells the Ezreal to get up to 30 gold. All right, well, he has a chance to take another Duelist emblem. So he now has Duelist Heart and Duelist Crest. So that's pretty crazy. So with that, he should be able to level. And can he get 6 Duelists in? He's going to turn Ezreal into a Duelist, and then he should be able to level here and just play 6 Duelists here. So this is, as I said at the beginning of the game, this is a pretty big high roll game. So Grillo is playing Underground, and he also has 6 Duelists in on level 6. This is not something that should be possible. He should have to sacrifice in some way. He should not be able to play 6 Duelists at level 6 and also be getting the Underground economics trait in. So this is really, really absurd high roll right here. But again, he had the +1 Duelist from the Duelist Heart, which allows him to have 6 Duelists in with only 5 actual Duelist units. And then he also turns Ezreal into a Duelist as well. So Ezreal has double Locket and a Duelist Crest. Ezreal makes reasonably good use of the Duelist ability just to stack up additional attack speed. So, and in addition to that, he also has the double Locket, which is what Duelists want, because what is the big weakness of a Duelist board? Duelists are very fragile. They are high damage but fragile units. So the Locket counters this by putting a huge shield right on top of all those Duelists so they can't be bursted down and killed before they're able to stack up their attack speed over time. So long term, these Lockets are planned to go onto Neela. Neela is seen as being the best holder of the Lockets just because of her ability. Her ability has a heal on it, so she's kind of a defensive / utility unit, a little bit unlike a bunch of the other Duelist units. So, like, out of the ones that are in there right now, Kale is basically pure damage. Yasuo is more of a utility crowd control unit. He's not really someone you carry, but he provides great crowd control. I guess Fiora, to some extent, is a carry, although people typically have not been building her as such. And then Neela's like kind of a utility unit as well. Then you have Zed and Vayne are kind of the big carry units in this comp. So a Duelist comp builds around Vayne, and typically it's Vayne, but you can also run Zed as kind of like secondary carry. It's just that normally you are not able to get hacker trait in if you're running 6 or 8 Duelists. And so that makes Zed more of a trait bot and like off carry than a true carry, because he can't get in the back line without having hacker in, and normally you can't run hacker with this setup because you can't. You need all of your slots to run Duelists if you're going to be running this setup. All right, well, anyway, so we are win streaking now, and Grillo is just absolutely tearing his way through these boards. Plus, we are continuing to get more in the way of Underground stacks as well. He is, I believe, is he going to take this Vayne? I thought he might take the Vayne here. All right, he does end up taking the Vayne. He jukes around it. He can put in Vayne, and he can look to potentially just Thief's Glove her because he has double gloves. Now, normally you would want to itemize Vayne as kind of the primary carry, but he's got the 2 gloves, so it's not the worst option that he can look to make here. So I believe that's what he ends up doing, if I remember this game correctly. Anyway, these are the first of the 2 gift rounds. So first Grillo sends a gift over to me, and yeah, there we go. He's gonna look to Thief's Glove the Vayne. So she rolls probably not the items you want on Vayne. She rolls a Gargoyle Stone Plate and a belt. So we got Tank Vayne here. But still, Vayne's probably going to be more useful than having Neela on the board, especially if she has a Thief's Glove. She's probably going to be the more useful of the 2 units. Again, 6 Duelist does provide a tremendous amount of attack speed. It is 20% attack speed per stack, so it can get up to 200% attack speed at maximum stacks on the team. When this is the case, you don't really need like a Rage Blade on Duelist unit. They have enough attack speed. They don't really need something like that. Or stuff that they do want, typically if you were building Vayne as your carry in a setup like this, you'd want to try to build something like Giant Slayer is very good because it's helpful at cutting through the high health targets. You would want to look to try to make Last Whisper because you would want the armor shred. Duelists do heavy physical damage. There's very little magic damage in this comp, so Last Whisper is excellent for armor shredding on the enemy team. And I'd say those are probably the main. I mean, you can always do like Infinity Edge so that the damage can crit. That's always a possibility as well. Anyway, Grillo is also hitting the Duelist pretty well too. Like he has 2-star Fiora, 2-star Yasuo, and then I am going to send him a Thief's Glove. So he had the option to get a Thief's Glove here. And now he has the question of like, who do I put the Thief's Glove on? It's either going to be Yasuo or Fiora because he needs to save the slots on Neela for those lockets later on. So is it going to be the Yasuo? Is it going to be the Fiora? Presumably it's going to be one of the two of them that he's going to look to Thief's Glove. All right. He actually has Vayne with the Thief's Glove on the bench because he's only a 1-star unit. He's kind of naturally 2-starred pretty much everything else. He's just missing the Vi. Now, remember, we did use our early send to send over the Vi, but think how crucial it's been to send this Vi over. Grillo has not seen any Vi's, and I don't believe he's seen any Sonas up to this point in time either. So we were able to get Underground in from the very first round of the game, and that was all entirely due to sending that Vi over. So it was a really good call by Grillo to suggest that I look for these units. And as it turned out, I had a Vi in like my very first store. So I was like, oh, cool, I can just send the Vi over now. But like we would not have been playing Underground all this time without that. So that's the hope. By the way, I was about to lose this round pretty badly. This is a mascot reroller. They've actually rolled all the way down to 10 gold here. So they don't have much of an economy left. And I was losing pretty badly, which is not surprising to someone who's gone that far all in with their economy. But Grillo comes in, and in overtime, the healing on those mascot units gets cut in half. So it's easy to punch through. All right, now, so we've got the second heist cash out. And Grillo was like, you know what? I just want to play more Duelists. I think I can play 8 Duelists, so I'm just going to cut and run here. Unfortunately, he has a Manamune, which is not going to be useful for him, but that Manamune is going to be very useful for my board because remember, I'm looking to play into Soraka. I've already actually found a Soraka. I took one off the carousel, the stage 3 carousel. There was a Soraka there. And I've been able to make a Giant Slayer. The big thing I'm missing is I'm missing tier items. But the Manamune will solve my mana problems if I'm able to do that. All right, so now Grillo is going to move out of Underground, and he's going to look to move into more of his endgame board. He just needs to find a Zed. If he can find Zed, he can play 8 Duelists. So I think he's going to roll for it here, if I remember correctly. And, oh, well, I mean, that was kind of easy. He actually found the Zed right away. So now we can look to put in a Zoe or a LeBlanc so we can get Prankster trait in for his Zed because he's got the extra Duelist right there. He's got the +1 Duelist that he's actually not even using right now because every unit on the board is already a Duelist, and so they can't actually take this. Also, as a Sunfire Cape left over, it's like, who do you put this on? Well, Yasuo is actually a pretty decent choice to put this on. As I said, he is a little bit tankier than some of these other units. But now Grillo has Duelist 8 in, and Duelist 8, that's 30% attack speed per stack. Fully stacked, his units have 300% attack speed, so they're attacking rather quickly. You're not really supposed to have Duelist 8 in on 4-1. A little bit early for that. And now the last augment. All right, so Grillo's got Binary Airdrop. No, that's not really going to work for his item grab bag, High Roller. I mean, he could try to take High Roller and try to 3-star one of these, but no, he's going to stay at probably level 7 and look to reroll anyway. So he's like, all right, I'm going to reroll, and oh, lucky gloves. Thief's Gloves will always give you, I went past the text too quickly, but basically Thief's Gloves will always give you items that are appropriate for your units. I'll see if I can find the official description in a minute here, but he already had double Thief's Gloves, and now he's going to be able to hit more Thief's Glove units. So going to go ahead and play Zac for the moment, which is kind of an interesting choice, Duelist Zac. But like, look at the items that are now on his Thief's Gloves. It's like your units just roll appropriate items to have on your board anyway. Also should maybe look to pick up the Sejuani. Oftentimes people will play Sejuani on these Duelist boards because you can get Laser Core in if you play the Sejuani. Since you're running Zed and you're running Yasuo, you already have 2 out of 3 Laser Core, and then Sejuani can get you the third. But the Lucky Gloves is an insane high roll because Grillo already had double Thief's Gloves, and now he got another Thief's Glove because he was able to pick up the Lucky Gloves augment. It gives you a Thief's Glove. So he has 3 Thief's Gloves, and he has the Lucky Gloves augment. Again, let me see if I can find the formal description just so I can cover what this specifically does. So prismatic, augment, Lucky Gloves. Where is the... Boy, this is supposed to be in alphabetical order, and it's not. All right, Thief's Gloves will always give your champions items. Well, that's a really stupid description, but it means that they're always going to get items that are like well tailored to them. So like let's just look at what the units that have the Thief's Glove have. Vayne has Infinity Edge Bloodthirster. That's pretty good. Fiora has Bloodthirster and Titans. Very good for a tanky frontliner. Zed, not quite as good. He's got the Shield Breaker, and then he also has a Hand of Justice. So maybe not quite as appropriate, but not bad. And then, oh, look, there is a Zoe in the store. So he could potentially look to put in the Zoe, drop the Zac, put in the Zoe, and then that would give him Hacker Trait for Zed. So he'd be able to play 8 Duelists plus Hacker Trait, which again is not something that you're supposed to do, but that would then give the Zed backline access in a way that you normally can't do if you're playing 8 Duelists, because again, 8 Duelists normally has to sacrifice something somewhere, and would have to, in this case, normally it means sacrificing Hacker Trait. So is he going to pick up the Zoe? Ends up not picking it up. Okay. Well, we do have another carousel here, so the option to find something else. Again, Grillo has been absolutely torching every other board ever since he has 8 Duelists. He has the double lockets, so that means that Neela puts that huge shield, and oh, he has a rod on his bench. Is anyone going to take this vest? Because that would be a triple locket if he can manage to put this together. I was like trying to keep people away from going for the vest, and there it is, triple locket. Oh my god, the shield is insane on the triple locket. So remember, each locket is 350 with a 2-star unit. Now if you can 3-star Neela, then that's going to be a 400 health shield. I was grabbing Neela's for Grillo, so I managed to get a 2-star Neela. By the way, there's Zed 2-star, so that's very nice. Now, can we find one more Neela? He probably doesn't want to roll too low here. I think Grillo will stop at 30. It looks like he's going to stop at the 30 here, but he's one off Neela 3-stars, so assuredly we should be able to hit one more Neela here between the two of us. And our sends, I think, have been used really well in this game. Grillo was able to send me that Man Immune. That's the big reason why my Soraka board is really popping off. Soraka's been stacking up health at an incredible rate. You're not really seeing that because we're watching Grillo's board, but I'm running this admin with a 2-star Soraka who has a Man Immune now and is just stacking up the max health every single round. And then this Duelist board is just out of control. Again, 3 lockets. Each one is 350 shield, so that's over 1,000 health shield going on all the frontline duelists. They just cannot be bursted down before they stack up that attack speed. Excuse me, they cannot be bursted down before they stack up that attack speed. Just need one more. Also getting some more veins here as well, so might as well keep rolling. There's really no reason to go to level 8 here. All the duelist units are relatively cheap. There are no 5-cost duelists, and the only 4-cost duelist is Zed. So I'm going to hit another Fiora. So Grillo's just kind of rolling it down here. I might have slow played this a little bit more because he did go all the way down to 19 gold. But that said, he is on max win streak, so that helps overcome that. Max win streak, you're basically, like right now, if he wins this round, he'll have 20 gold in the bank. He'll get +3 income from his win streak. So it will basically be equivalent to being over 50 gold. So that definitely does help. You can be a little bit greedier. But like, look, his duelists just punch right through this front line. Again, they all have 30% additional attack speed per stack. The Lucky Gloves are giving them like perfect items. Like look at Vayne. She has a Rage Blade, which again, she doesn't really need in 8 duelists, but she's got a Rage Blade. She had a Hand of Justice. Like they're getting perfect items. The items synergize with this team comp so unbelievably well. Plus the triple locket on Neela just means the units absolutely cannot die. All right, okay, so instead of the Zac, he's going to go ahead and play the Echo. Interesting. I don't think that Echo fits this team comp at all. Maybe if he could get Zoe on the board to put the Prankster dummy, but I don't think even like a Prankster dummy really does that much because this team is like basically all offense. Prankster is kind of like a defensive trait. it's not really something you would want here. And oh, another glove. Can he make another lucky glove here? Can he pull another glove from this anvil? I mean, he's got like 3 out of 8 odds. No, couldn't get another lucky glove. That would have been nice, but not quite able to get another glove. Anyway, he's getting close to vein 3-star as well. That's 7 veins. There's the Neela. Okay. And is going to pick up the Zoe. Is he finally going to move into the Zoe here? I've been thinking that Grillo is going to move into the Zoe here. So he's going to go ahead and make a Zephyr. I like this decision. Just mess with the enemy team. See if you can take out a key unit on the other side. And it looks like the best target might be one of these units in the back. Okay, ended up missing. I think Grillo guessed that he was going to be up against the other board, but he does get the, well, at least not terribly valuable here. So it's going to be up to his board. Can they cut through all these mascot units? Well, the thing about mascots is mascots have really good sustain, but they don't actually do that much damage. Mascots tends to be a low damage comp. So duelists are a bad matchup for mascots. Again, mascots have like great healing. They try to like out-sustain you, but duelists are a burst setup, and duelists can just burst through the mascot healing to a really impressive degree. And it looks like we're going to win that fight as well. So yeah, we're just kind of cruising here. Grillo's on a 13-round winning streak. He is absolutely tearing through the enemy board. So he has the chance to send me a tier 5 champ and 7 gold, or 2 tier 4 champs. But I was like, I don't really need any of this. Why don't I just take the gold and you just keep rolling for your stuff over there on that board? So I just opt to take the gold because I didn't want Grillo to have to spend money. Oh, he is going to level. He does end up going to level 8. Ah, okay. And now he's decided to put in the Zoe. Okay. I didn't think he was ever going to level 8 in this game, but wanted to end up playing the Echo, which is kind of interesting. As I said, I don't think that Echo does that much for this board, but I suppose it doesn't hurt. So we are on 7 Veins, 7 Fioras, 6 Yasuos right now, so getting close to some 3-stars. Now Grillo is going to have the ability to send Zed into the backlines. Again, he's going to roll very good items on his Thief's Glove every round. And so he is going to, oh, by the way, nice Zephyr on the Aurelian Soul, which is kind of the carry on that other team. But now he's going to have Vayne able to kill the front line while Zed goes and kills the back line in every fight. So it's just like there is no place of safety whatsoever against this board. Yeah, just tore right through that. These rounds really have not been especially close. Now, I have been winning most of my rounds as well, but the ones I haven't been winning, Grillo has just come over and saved me whenever I wasn't winning the rounds. All right, well, there's Zoe, so that's nice. And Grillo's going to start picking up Sonas for me because I think I was getting relatively close to Sona 3-star. And, oh, guess what I was able to send him? Yeah, I was able to send him another Thief's Glove. It was one of the 3 options. And then he's going to send the Sona over to me. And so I believe that makes Sona 3-star. Yep, there we go. So I do think we work together really well in this game. Again, not to pat ourselves on the back too much. The goal of these videos is not to say, look how amazing we are. But when we do well, I do think it's worthwhile to point that out. And then he's going to send, and then we double send the Vayne. Yeah. So just to explain what I mean by the double send is, so Grillo had 7 Vaynes. I had 2 Vaynes. So between us, we had 9. So he sends me a 1-star version of the unit. That combines with the 2 on my bench into a 2-star unit. And then I send it back to make the 3-star version. So I don't know if that's like the proper term, but that's what we have referred to it in our games as double sending a unit. Because we basically already had 9 Vaynes, but we were able to use 2 sends to combine them together into the Vayne 3-star. So, yep, 3-star Neela, 3-star Vayne. Again, this board is so out of control. We just got out in front of the lobby and just snowballed super hard. Oh, is there another Thief's Glove? Oh, there's no, not another Thief's Glove, but there's actually something that's even better. There's a Hacker Emblem here. So the Hacker Emblem will allow Grillo to run 3 Hacker. And in fact, yeah, and we were like, oh, come on, no one wants this Hacker Emblem, right? No one wants this. And it turns out no one does. So Grillo's able to get that too. He actually could now drop the Echo and play LeBlanc. He would lose Prankster trait for that, but again, I don't think he really needs Prankster trait. He could drop the Echo for LeBlanc and run 4 Hacker, which would give Zed 70% Omnivamp. Also would give it to whoever he gives the Hacker Emblem to as well. So, which I guess is probably should not be Echo. Echo does not need Omnivamp. Probably should have been Yasuo out of these options. But yeah, so like the one thing I would suggest is if I had been playing this game, I would have dropped the Echo. I would have looked to play LeBlanc here and put that Hacker Emblem on like Yasuo, because giving Zed 70% Omnivamp when he's attacking at 300% attack speed, that would be even more ridiculous. Not that this board really needs that much help. I just don't think Echo is quite the right unit. Grillo doesn't really need another tank here. Having LeBlanc in for 4 hacker would just be absolutely absurd. But it's not like anyone is really touching his boards anyway. If you watch the Locket shielding in these fights, it's like the other team just barely starts to get through the Locket shielding, at which point in time the entire team is dead. But it's just like they cannot get through the shield before everything is dying on their board. With the level 3, with the 3-star Neela, it is a 1200 health shield on all those front line units. 1200 HP. So yeah, it's a lot of shielding. And then you've got the triple lucky gloves. What's he rolling for here? Oh, is he rolling? Oh, he's rolling for 2-star Echo. Okay, that makes sense because this is probably the last round of the game, just to get the 2-star Echo in. Plus, Grillo also he's got his lucky gloves on all his units. Like, Vayne has Infinity Edge Rage played this round. He's got a Zephyr to muck with people in the back lines, although Grillo has maybe not been quite as good at placing his Zephyr in these combats as he maybe should have been. Like, he just hits a very low priority gangplank in this fight. But, I mean, does it really matter? Probably not. The Zed is in the back lines killing the 3-star Yuumi, and I mean his Vayne is just annihilating the mascot front line. It's not even close. So this is going to end with a 17-round winning streak for Grillo, and we win the lobby on 90 HP. Again, this game was against people that are really good. This is at like the top of the ladder for double up, or very close to it. I think this is in Plat 1, so this is going to go to a Grillo's replay ends here, but I'll just put up the static victory screen that I was able to capture because I was also playing in this game. So as I said, this was Plat 1 for double up, and like that's much higher in double up than it is in the single player mode. This is like top 300 on the ladder, basically, people who are in here. So it's basically the equivalent of like challenger to grandmaster on the single player ladder. So good teams here, but just nobody could keep up. We just high rolled to such a stupid degree in this game. Every decision we made worked out. Everything was given to us in this game, and we annihilated this lobby. So sometimes it's fun to show games like that. It was not close. It was never close, but it was a lot of fun. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Thanks to Grillo as well for sending me this footage. Until next time, hope you guys are having a great week. Take care, folks.